Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Paul, and today I'm going to show you how to repair a water-damaged drywall ceiling. Here in part 1 of the video series, I'm going to show you a pretty slick trick for cutting your new piece of drywall to fit perfectly in that ceiling repair. I'll also be attaching a furring strip to the area as well. Once the drywall is installed, I'll show you how I apply a fiberglass mesh drywall tape to a ceiling repair. I'm here on a project at a local stereo shop where they had a roof leak. The roof leak's been fixed, and I'm going to take this wood down and see what we got going here. Ooh, definitely some water damage. So what I like to do is square this up. When I'm doing a ceiling repair like this, is I like to square this up, and then I pre-cut the piece down the ground, and I'll hold it up there and trace around it, and we'll get a nice tight fit that way. So basically all I got to do is measure that other one out halfway on that stud that's right there, square it off, and then I'll probably give it about, since it's a crooked cut, I'll probably give it about 4 inches out here, so then I can get a nice straight cut. So I'll take a couple measurements, go from there. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is just get a width measurement and a length measurement. I'm going to get halfway on that stud, so I'm going to make a mark where I need the measurement to be. Once I determine that, I know how big the piece of drywall is that I'm going to need to cut. Make a mark for the width. I'm going a few inches out from the cut that the business owner had done. Alright, so I already cut the piece of drywall to put over the hole, and I'm going to trace it around the perimeter with a pencil. If you look closely, you can see a couple arrows on that piece of drywall. One's pointing at the wall and one is pointing out. That's so when I go to put the drywall back in after cutting out, it's going to face the same way. So I'll put a mark on the existing wall and ceiling right at the arrow, so I know which way the piece of drywall goes. So now you just want to go ahead and score the lines that you traced around that piece of drywall. You're going to have to apply a good amount of pressure and sink that blade in as best as possible. You know, it's going to take a couple rounds. Be sure to get in the corners. Now you should be able just to pop it. There's no framing member there, so we're going to put a furring strip after we get this drywall torn out. Now you just need to clean it up. You know, clean the corners up. You don't want anything hanging up the piece of drywall when you go to install it. Make sure there's no fasteners stuck in any of the framing members. This 5/8 is kind of a booger to get out when it's right up against a framing member. So I'll just break out my cat's claw and hammer and just kind of chip it out of there. Okay, so I've pre-cut this 1x4 furring strip, probably about 4 inches longer than the opening. And then I'm going to attach it to the 5/8 drywall ceiling with 1 1/4 or 1 5/8 drywall screws. Be sure to screw all the way around the perimeter. And attach the new piece of drywall with 1 1/4 or 1 5/8 drywall screws. Make sure all the heads are sunk real good. Alright, time to apply the fiberglass mesh drywall tape. I like to use a razor knife to cut it. What you want to do is get it stuck to the new drywall real good and kind of push your finger into the gap between the new drywall and the existing drywall. And then just stick it again. Stick it to the new drywall first, it sticks best to that, and then give it a cut where the two joints intersect. Now again, put your finger right in the gap of the drywall and push up. The key is to make sure all the fiberglass mesh is stuck real good and pushed up in the drywall joint. That looks good. Alright, so I got a piece of drywall up. I also added a furring strip along the long butt joint here for added strength. Also, if there was any sag in the ceiling, that's going to draw it back up. It's just through the drywall. It's a 4-inch 1x4 furring strip. So I'm going to hit this with some 20-minute mud. Here we go. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to show you how to mix the 20-minute mud. I'll also show you how to finish these joints on the water damage drywall ceiling repair. How to flat tape against the existing walls so your mud work doesn't come down onto a wall and then turn into more work for you. And hopefully I'll be able to squeeze in matching the knockdown texture with my knockdown texture sponge. If not, it'll be in part 3. Thanks so much for watching. And if you're looking to fine-tune your drywall skills, learn how to match a texture on your repairs, be sure to subscribe to my channel to keep up with all my latest videos. If you've got a question or a video request, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I'll also leave a link to the part 2 video and the whole video series. Hey, I'd really appreciate this if you shared it with a friend on Facebook or Twitter. Thanks again for watching.